I love me some avant-garde music, and anything from this style of music always piques my interest. And this one was recommended to me by one of my followers, so thank you. Let's dive into this fantastic album.
If you tell me what you are and the one you wanna be, maybe I will fire you up.
Samen by OoOoOoOo. I think that's how you pronounce it. We all know I have a really hard time pronouncing anything that isn't like a traditional English name or band, and I know my followers love watching me trip over those, but how do you pronounce that? Is it ooh? Like, am I supposed to pronounce it like or even maybe I don't know. I'm gonna go with ooh. Anyway, these guys, now they are a French avant-garde group being helmed by Aurélie Redon, and again, apologies if I mispronounced that name. She was the former singer of the other avant-garde of Pin Up Went Down. The thing that I love about this album is the chaotic resolution, and it's a term that I use a lot with certain bands like the Mars Volta or King Crimson, where you have this just chaos or this knots that are going through, and then you have this beautiful resolution that takes place. The chaos can be as brutal or as hard-hitting or as just insane driving as possible, as long as you have a beautiful resolution that ties it all together. And that is found perfectly within the first track, and the real highlight of this album of Rules of the Show. I've been listening to this song practically on repeat once I found these guys. I love where this song goes. It starts off very, very soft and very almost menacingly, just with a few strokes of a guitar and a bass line that then get introduced with a very groovin' and almost poppy outlook on things. Like, I would not hesitate at all to show a lot of my friends who love music that are more accustomed to a very accessible stylings. But then very, very soon we get hit with the growls and the brutality and the screams and the yells. And then from there we come into like the string movement, and this piece right here is why I gush about it, because we had this chaos of the screams leaded with some of the strings of the guitars, the growls, and it's all building with the percussion until we get that resolution of that wow, and that is what I love. And the rest of this song has the similar feels to this. Like, we have kind of a very funky drive within the percussion, mixed very well with that avant-garde kind of presentation. The song never stops. The song never sits still. Just when you think, like, okay, it's just going to be chaos, it slows down. And once you think, okay, now we have a little bit of time just to kind of, hunker down and enjoy the atmosphere, we get driven up again. And the overall lyrics of this song is also fantastic. Like, I love the raging against this. It's that feminine oppression that a lot of people are feeling. It's like, never expect to be treated like a man. You are more of just an object. You're all these different things. And I feel like this would work very well with like an art piece or an art exhibit. And I have a feeling it probably is, especially with the lyrics that are going on here. And it's very, very, I don't want to use the word like art French or French art, but it kind of has that feel to it. Now, I have the most opinion about Rules of the Show because that's the song that I've been listening to the most. The rest of the songs, I don't really listen to all that much. I mainly just kind of listen to Rules of the Show and then kind of just zone out with the rest of the music, which is a little bit of a shame because the rest of the music on this album is still fantastic. It blends, as I said, a lot of that funky, fresh, not fresh, but like almost like a swing kind of an atmosphere. It reminds me very much of like a Diablo swing orchestra, if anybody's familiar with that band. where it's like a very metal interpretation of swing or like almost ballroom kind of a music. And that's found throughout, especially within the percussion and the rhythm section here. We also have like the vocal stylings of that kind of smooth jazz bar vocals permeating through there, and I think that's where the style kind of resides. But it also ebbs and flows, and I love the fact that the lead singer has no problem growling away and screaming away, and it almost feels like a goblin metal at times as well with the vocals that I really, really enjoy. And I also love like the fun aspect of this as well. Like there's a lot of fun that's being had on these albums, even though it's kind of raging against the machine here. A lot of the songs don't really feel too in sync with one another, and that provides a fantastic dynamic, and I love when that happens. Like on the third song of Meow Meow Fur, near the midpoint you've got like the two vocals that are not quite harmonizing quite right. It's almost like the guitar work on more of like a death metal album where the two guitars aren't quite harmonizing where it needs to be, but because of that, the sounds that it's creating, it's very like off kilter and like, that's very, very nice and very delicious. If you're looking for a very brutal, very avant-garde, very off-kilter album, definitely check this guy out. I'm having a blast listening to this more and more. I definitely have to say, you gotta go out, and if you can find it on physical format, because this is one that really needs to be in any collection of anybody that likes something a little bit different, something that's not quite going with the grain, like something going against the grain. Definitely check this out. It's definitely up your alley. So what did you guys think? Did you love it? Did you hate it? This one's a little bit older. This one came out last October, so I only discovered it now, but I had to talk about it, and I had to talk about rules of the show. So let me know of your own thoughts of this album by commenting down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys, as always, are definitely the best. And until next time, notes out.